Now you are.
There and back again, a hobbit's tale. How many of you know the story? Oh yeah, okay. Isn't it a fantastic story? I mean, full of adventure, enchanted places like the Shire and Rivendell. I mean, this is Middle Earth. Tolkien created this place of elves and dwarves and wizards and even dragons. I'm going to talk to you today and introduce you to a team called the Finance Systems team. And they live in a world that's very similar to Middle Earth. They even like to call themselves the Clockwork Wizards. Now, in the Hobbit tale, since we all somewhat know the story, I won't be giving anything away, but maybe kind of refresh you through the story. It kind of starts out with a quest. There's a treasure. It's the Arkenstone, and it needs to be kind of retrieved from a very sleeping dragon. Now, Gandalf is this great wizard, and he decides he needs to facilitate the people who are needed for this quest. So he gathers 13 dwarves and Bilbo, a hobbit. And he works with them to get them to agree to work together and to take on this quest and make plans of once they get there, what will they actually do. Well, the Clockwork Wizards are, like Gandalf, work as a facilitator. So our job, as in this particular team, is to work with corporate IT, with vendors, and with end users to support the 13 applications and the 17 servers that we hold dear to our hearts. So you've probably heard of some of them: Quicksilver, Solomon, RockLogic, Inventory Management System, just to name a few. They don't sit up underneath our desk where we can flip a switch on and off to help take care of any issues that are going on. Matter of fact, we've never laid our hands actually physically on any of the servers or applications. So what it does require is to us to coordinate with teams that actually can physically touch those servers for us and do the things that we need to do. For an example, we have this server that we lovingly call the Wizard, matter of fact. And we're getting ready to take the data from this server and move it over to a new location so he has more power. You know, all wizards need extra power, right? Do you think it would be as easy as like you sit down on your computer and click File and move over to this new folder? Well, not so simple when you're actually taking data and moving it over into a new server. So we had to facilitate a meeting with actually 5 IT teams. And we had to figure out who is going to do what task on this quest of moving over to a new server. We have to plan a date in which we all can actually do this. We have to communicate out to our end users our plans for this. And then on the day of the adventure, we have to make sure that each team is willing to fulfill their tasks so that the end result, at the end of the day, the quest is done, and the end users can come back into the system the next day with no impact to them. So we are great facilitators. Now, back in the story of the Hobbit, once you get everyone in agreement that they're going on to the adventure starts. Now, if it was as simple as starting from the Shire and ending up in the Lonely Mountain, then there wouldn't be much of a story. So, on the adventure, you always run into obstacles. Trolls, goblins, maybe even some giant spiders in the way. And you kind of get into little scraps, and you get in a little bit of trouble. And you've got to figure out your way out of it. Problem solving, troubleshooting. Clockwork Wizards are very similar to this. They wake up every morning, come in with a new adventure, something that we have to troubleshoot. You never know what it's going to be. You think you're going to wake up and, today, what it holds. And then you come in and realize that a troll has entered into an inventory batch and it will not post. Or that goblin got into that printer in AP and the checks won't actually print. We even had a big giant spider weave a big web into payer rules for billing, and we have to kind of work through those kind of problems where the claims go out the door. So it is not uncommon for our team to find these mystical beasts in our systems. We have to troubleshoot and find them. What is causing the error messages that end users are actually getting? We have to then plan an attack and be able to fix it and get things back up and running. Now, further on in the story, as they're on to adventures and finally get out of some of the scrapes, they end up at the base of the lonely mountain where the dragon sits, and they meet the lake's town people. And in the story, these people have actually been living in fear for years about, who wouldn't live in fear? A dragon is in your back door, right? Bilbo, by this time, has the Ring of Power. So he actually does go inside the mountain. And, of course, goes after the treasure, because that was what the quest was all about. But while he's there, he spends some time in talking to the dragon Smaug. And through the conversations and they're having and the challenges that they're having with each other, the kind of back and forth banter, he actually discovers a weakness in Smaug. There's a scale that is loose up underneath his breast. This makes it a very vulnerable place for the dragon. And be able to get the information back out to an archer who then later on was able to slay that dragon. In a lot of ways, the Clockwork Wizards act like Bilbo. There are many departments within the laboratory that have their own dragons. They have that Excel spreadsheet and a process in place with it that takes them 2 days a month to actually do. So our team comes in, we take a look at those particular things, and we kind of create a new process that now takes 20 minutes. We go and take a look at an Access database that is corrupt or continuously keeps crashing, and we look and see, is there another way that the teams can actually get the data that they're looking for and be able to do their work more efficiently, more effectively, without having to struggle. We also look at new applications that we can put into place. We create new reports. This is kind of the fun part of our job. It's the creative part of our job. But it's also a lens to support. We're the support team. And we also are beyond finance when we are in this capacity. So yes, we work with patient accounting with Quicksilver and finance with Solomon and RecLogic and the inventory system. But we're also working with the data warehouse for the laboratory. We're working with customer support, and when they bring in different, they actually have a lot of Excel files that we kind of look at with them. So we actually do offer some of that support. So as Clockwork Wizards, we are facilitators, we are troubleshooters, and we do act as a support team. So yeah, we have a little bit of magic. And we also are always up for a new adventure, just kind of waiting right outside the Shire. So I'll leave you with our team's quote, because I love it. It states that may you tame every dragon and still make it home in time for tea. Thank you.